Hi, my name is Mary, and this is Mary's Stitching Corner. This is my channel about cross stitch. I'd like to say welcome to any new subscribers or anyone that's stopping by just to check out the video. I hope you like what you see. Well, stay around, click like and subscribe and all of that fun stuff. And welcome back to my returning subscribers. I appreciate you so much. And I love to have you come back each time, and I love to read your comments, and it's been really nice to get to know some of you better. So today is Tuesday, November the 8th, and it's a cold, gloomy, rainy day today. We went from 70 degrees a few weeks, 2 weeks ago, to snow, to rain, to gloom. It's just winter it feels like it's here already. So it's been about 6 or 7 weeks since my last video, and you can thank COVID for that, because it finally found our family. We hadn't had it before, and all of us got it within 5 or 6 days, so that was really fun. I'll talk about that more at the end of the video. And so there was about a 10-day period where I didn't get much stitching done. And so all my October plans just went out the window. I had planned, I think, 5 new starts for Halloween, and I did 1. But that's okay. I also decided to focus on my WIPS. I always get to a certain number of WIPS and I start to feel overwhelmed, and I decided that for this month at least, that's what I'll be doing. Sorry, I have a hair floating around somewhere. So that's what I've been doing. I haven't been super organized with my stitching. I have been following my WIP goals, and so I've been working on those. And then I use the excuse me, I use the picker wheel online and have entered all my WIPs in there and spin that, and whatever project comes up, I work on that for 2 days, and that way I've been able to work on a few WIPs that I haven't touched for a while. Of course, sometimes I'm derailed with that because I come across one that I start stitching and love it so much that I can't put it down, and that's kind of what I've been doing the last few days. Anyway, I have 4 finishes and a bunch of WIPs, and then we can talk about plans. And I don't have any haul. I've been really good trying to focus on what I have. And I want to do a giveaway. Hopefully I won't forget to do that. And then we can talk about life. Okay, so let's start with the finishes that I have. So I've been working on the Sampler of the Month by Country Cottage Needleworks, and I'm just working on those 1 a month approximately. And this time I finished April. And this is stitched on 28 count mystery linen. And this was really fun to stitch. And these stitch up really fast, so it's easy to get one done in a month, even when you're working on other projects. And then I also finished May. And that's the same 28 count mystery linen. And I will start June sometime this month. But those are the only new starts that I have planned. And my other finish is Trick or Treat by Barbara Anna Designs. I went from thinking Barbara Anna Designs were weird to absolutely loving them. This is the second one I finished, and I think I have at least 3 more charts that I want to stitch in my stash, and there's at least 2, well, there's more than 2. There's 2 new ones that just came out that I want to stitch, and I have a bunch more on my wish list. So Trick or Treat, this was the only Halloween one that I got done. And I loved every minute of it. This is it. This is a called for fabric and floss. This is 32 count Lugana. I want to say is it Basalt Splash? Something like that. I love it. I love how it turned out. So that was fun. And the other finish I have is Flea Market Flowers by Laurie Holt. This was so enjoyable. I love the colors in this. I love the fabric I stitched it on. I just loved every minute of it. Way more stitching than you realize, but I love it. So this is 18 count opalescent Aida, white opalescent Aida. I don't know if you can see the sparkle. I love how it turned out. Just, yeah, I love everything about it. So I went through all of my finishes the other day, and I think next month what I'm going to do is have a WIP parade and a finish parade. I have so many that are just sitting there waiting to have something done with them. And I found someone that does finishing online, and I sent off my first 2 projects to her today to have them finished. I'm so excited about it. And it will take about 6 weeks before they're back, but I need to get some of these things finished, whether it's me doing it or somebody else doing it. So yeah, I'm very, very excited about that. So these next 2 were my WIP goals for this month. And the first one was Autumn Town by Autumn Lane Stitchery. And there's quite a few people stitching this one. Laura from Stitching by the Shore is almost finished with this one. She just has a little bit down here to do. It's been really fun watching her progress. I love fall colors, and so this has been really enjoyable to work on. And sorry, this is where I am. So this is being stitched on 18 count Jade, I think, by dovestitch.com on Etsy. And I'm just using the DMC conversion. I'm not using any variegated flosses or fancy flosses. And I love how it's turning out. I just love the brightness of the colors. So in this one, I stitch 30 to 60 minutes a day, and I'll do that throughout November. So really enjoying it. And the next one is also my WIP Go project. But this is one that even when I met my goal, I couldn't put down. So I've been stitching it for the last week or so. And it is the Prairie Schooler. Spring has come. I hate these really flimsy charts that you get. Anyway, so I'm working on this. And this is the first Prairie Schooler I've worked on. And oh my goodness, I have loved every minute of this. I don't know what it is. If it's the colors, I don't know what it is, but I just love this. And so now I want to stitch more. And this will actually probably be finished today. All I have left are the flowers up here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 flowers, and I will be done. So this is stitched on 18 count vintage country mocha. And I love it, absolutely love it. So I'm thinking there's probably other seasons. I know there's an autumn one. I don't know if there's a summer and winter. I presume there is, but if there are, I want to stitch them all. So that's my WIP goals. And the rest of them are just general WIPs that I've been working on. This one I worked on for Sampler September, and this was my birthday start this year. It's vintage, no, black vintage sampler. And I'm stitching this on 18 count ivory Ada. And I was able to get another page finish. Oops. Now you just saw my messy back. Here we go. That looks a bit better. So I've done 2 pages now. So I finished this page in September. I love it. This is super enjoyable. I've messed up on the count multiple times, but I think it looks okay. As long as the border works with everything, I think we'll be fine. So this was picked on the picker wheel. And I was supposed to start it a couple of days ago, but I got so caught up in the Prairie Schooler, I haven't started working on it. But probably tonight or tomorrow, I'll start my 2 days on this one. Then in September, I started a bunch of fall projects. And this is one of them. So, September, I pretty much just worked on fall and that sampler. So, Gathering Acorns by Cottage Garden Needleworks. This was the chart that my daughter snuck into my basket when I was shopping at my LNS. And I didn't know I had it until I got home. So this will be done for her and framed and put in her room. So I'm stitching this on 18 count Ada, and it's the color Linen. So it's been really enjoyable. This is a chart I wouldn't have picked for myself, but it's been really fun to do. So this Ada is it's almost like a burlap. It's very, very stiff and rough, and I tried a few projects on it. Have a couple of pieces of this and tried a few projects on it and didn't like it. But this one is working. I think it looks quite good on here. Another fall project that I started in September is Autumn Rules by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And there's been a lot of people stitching this one. Sorry, itchy nose. So this is stitching up fast and it's very enjoyable to work on. So this was stitched, or is being stitched on 28 count Belfast linen. Let's see. And just the word autumn needs to go up here, and then I've reached the top. And then I'll keep working down. I'm using the called for DMC threads. So I think it's really fun. Love the colors. Another one that I started in September, and I don't have a lot done on this, and I've already messed up, and I'm going to have to frog some of it. But it's Little House Needleworks, and it's Acorn Hill. So I pretty much just got the border done. So I think up here, these aren't even, so I'm gonna have to frog some of it. But so far I'm really liking it. This is 20 count. Let's see. 20 count Sunflower Ada by Vintage Needle Arts. And I'm using, the chart calls for Classic Colorworks silk, but I'm using the Classic Colorworks cotton. So I think that one's going to be really nice. The next one, let's see. The last fall one I had started in September is Cinnamon Stars by Plum Street Samplers. And I just got a small start on this one. And this is 20 count Vintage Country Mocha. And I am using the called for Gentle Art. Gentle Art and WIPS Dye Works threads. So those were my fall starts. And then the picker wheel had picked these. This is Farmer's Market by Toad in a Garden. And this is being stitched on 16 count Cafe Mocha by Witchelt. And I've been thoroughly enjoying this. I stitched a lot of lavender and lace back in the day, and I just love her charts. So yeah, I've been really liking that one. I hadn't worked on this one for a while, so it was really nice to have it pulled out again. And the last WIP is Twilight Bridge by Dimensions Gold Collection. And I hadn't touched this one for months, so it was quite fun to pull this out again. I put 2 days into it. So I was stitching this one diagonally, but because of the page breaks on the chart, it just was getting to be too hard. So my needle minders are sticking together. So when I picked it up again, I just started working across here, working on the house. And, you know, dimensions charts are sometimes a pain to work with, but they sure look nice when you stitch them up. So this is being stitched using all the kit threads and fabric. I started in the middle and came over here and did the entire height. And then I started going diagonally. But this is where the page breaks, and my mind just wasn't, it just was getting too hard. So I guess I'll just keep stitching along. I probably should go widthways and try and do that as well. But anyway, it was really good to put some work into this one. However I stitch it, it'll end up being done, and that's what counts. So those are all of my WIPs. I have a bunch upstairs that I haven't touched in a while, so I think I mentioned earlier in the video that I'll probably do a WIP parade and a finish parade next month. And you can get to see all of the WIPs that I have going. So as far as plans are concerned, I think I'm going to keep working on my WIPs all month, and maybe even beyond that. I mean, obviously I'll work on WIPs going forward, but exclusively I'll work on them for November. And then in December, my WIP Go numbers, both the charts that are being called, I've already finished. So I think I will put 2 Christmas ones in there instead. One of them being Songs of the Season, the Quaker Christmas sampler. So I'll work on that. And then I have 2 dimensions kits. One of them is Christmas ornaments, and the other one is Christmas mason jars, I think. And I may bring those out and start those in December. I'll see. But other than that, I don't have too many plans. I'll just keep working on spinning the picker wheel and working on WIPs for 2 days at a time, and try and make some progress on as many of them as I can have. I don't have a ton. You know, some people have 50 or 100 or whatever, and that's great. I just get overwhelmed easily when I start seeing my WIPs go over a certain amount. And because I like the process of stitching, but I also like getting things done. So it's good for me to stop every once in a while and just focus on the WIPs and finish some, because then it makes me feel like I'm making progress. Next year in January, I'll start going back to my original schedule, which was having a focus piece for a month and working on my WIP Go. The WIP Go was great for me. This is the first year that I've done it. And if you want to know what WIP Go is, you can go to Jessie Marie Does Stuff, and she's got a video there that explains everything about it. But I have had so many finishes this year thanks to WIP Go, because it's made me focus on certain projects and get them done. So I'll continue doing that. I need to come up with my new plan for next year, my new WIP Go board. And so yeah, right now that's pretty much all that I am thinking about. So we'll see how it goes. I have, once I get a certain amount finished, I'll start bringing in new starts. But I don't want to overwhelm myself. So we'll just see how it all plays out. So this month we reached 2 milestones with my channel. We reached the 1-year anniversary of when I started, which was November 2nd last year. And we also reached 1,000 subscribers. So that, I'm just blown away by that. I'm just completely shocked and so grateful that you have chosen to watch my channel and comment, and I feel like I've gotten to know some of you better, and it's just, this community is just so nice, and I really appreciate the friendships that I've made. So I wanted to do a giveaway, actually 2 giveaways. One to celebrate the anniversary and one to celebrate 1,000 subscribers. So if you want to be entered to win, I'm going to give away 2 $15 gift certificates to 123 Stitch. And the reason I'm doing that is because shipping is so expensive right now and super expensive to send internationally, and I don't want to do this and exclude anybody. So I've decided to do the gift certificates instead. So let me see. What can we have you say in the comments? Why don't you incorporate the word happy? Because I'm happy. I've been doing this for a year, and it's been such a joy. And I'm happy I reached 1,000 subscribers. So make a comment. You don't have to do anything fancy with it. Just the word happy is fine. Or if you want to, so many of you are really clever with incorporating those words. It's up to you. As long as the word happy is in there, and I will randomly pick 2 winners and we'll announce them in my next video. And we'll make contact with the winners and get your email addresses so that I can forward the gift certificates to you. So that's it, I think, for stitching. I don't have any haul. I'm really trying to focus in on what I already have. But we'll see how long that lasts. I have had to buy threads and stuff here and there, but I haven't bought any new charts or anything. But Christmas is coming, so you never know. So we'll go on to life updates. There's been a lot happening, but there's not been a lot happening, if you know what I mean. The 2 big things that happened was COVID and moving my daughters up and down stairs. So in October, there was a day when I was out and about with Katrina, and she said, I have a bit of a sore throat. So we didn't think much about it, but the next morning she woke up 102 fever, and she could hardly walk because her lower back was so painful. So she went in to urgent care, and they tested her, and sure enough, she had COVID. And they had to hook her up to an IV because her heart rate was so high. And they gave her some painkillers through the IV and then kept her there, giving her fluids until her heart rate got lower than 120 because they didn't want to let her go home until her heart rate was down. So that was kind of scary. She does tend to have a high heart rate at times because of having POTS. But anyway, they got it under 120 and sent her home, and she was the sickest out of all of us. So for about 10 days, she was hit pretty hard with high fever that we couldn't get down for the first few days. And a really bad cough, and the fatigue. Fatigue was terrible. So we isolated her in the basement, but I had to go up and down and take care of her, and I wore a mask, she wore a mask when we were together, but I couldn't not look after her. So we had a rough few days with her, and about 3 days after that, Steve got up one day and said, "I don't feel very good." So we tested him, and sure enough, he tested positive. Then a couple of days after that, sorry, I still have some congestion going on. A few days after that, I got a really bad headache and horrible fatigue. And I think the next day, because I couldn't get off my bed to test myself to see if I had it or not. I just assumed that I did. But the next day, Steve got the test stuff all put together, and we tested me, and sure enough, I tested positive. And then that day, Sarah said, "I don't feel very good." And we tested her, and she was positive. So we all had it pretty much at the same time. It was funny because Sarah had tested negative the day before and then was positive the next day. But so we all tried. Sorry, my dog is barking. Maggie, come here. It's a good girl. Come here. Up. So we all just tried to look after each other the best that we could. Katrina had it the worst. Sarah and Steve had what felt like a really bad head cold plus fatigue. And Katrina and I felt more like we had the flu plus fatigue. Fatigue that I'd never felt before. For about 3 days, I couldn't get off my bed. It was just horrible. And I got really bad muscle pains. The others didn't really get that. I didn't have a fever. My temperature would rise to like 99.5, and that would trigger these muscle pains. And so that was really bad for me. And I had the headache and sinus stuff and a slight cough. They all got really bad coughs. And Sarah and Steve bounced back fastest, then me, and then Katrina. So we all still are a bit congested and still coughing a bit, but we're much, much better than we were, thank goodness. So once we were over COVID, then we had to deal with moving Katrina out of the apartment downstairs and moving Sarah down. So we had to hire some people to come help move the heavy furniture because my husband's had problems with his back and he couldn't do it. And the rest of us were still trying to deal with the fatigue of COVID, which lingered for a while. So we hired some people. They moved the furniture, and so Sarah's now happily in her own apartment downstairs without any furniture pretty much. She's got bedroom furniture, but She doesn't have any living room furniture. And Katrina moved upstairs, and she's very happy to be upstairs back in her old bedroom. And we have bought her furniture for our new space here on the main floor. So Sarah didn't want it. She wants to buy her own stuff. She bought lots of kitchen stuff and bathroom stuff, and but has nowhere to sit right now. So we're still organizing, and Steve's, other than trim work, he's pretty much finished this main area on the main floor. And we still have a bunch of construction stuff in our dining room, but he promises me that will be gone and we'll get our dining table set up by Thanksgiving. Katrina today is at an award ceremony for her job where they call it top of the mountain. So depending on how much you brought in for the company, by cross-selling, she works for a credit union, then you get an award if you reach a certain point. And she reached the top point where she brought in $1 million, which was crazy because it was during the time that she had been hit really hard with chronic fatigue, and then with her POTS, she was only working part-time for a few months, and she managed to do that. So she's at an awards red carpet ceremony at work right now, and so we were very proud of her for that. She finally got an appointment to see the POTS specialist. She's been waiting for 1.5 years to get in there, so she got a call yesterday, and she's to go next week for a tilt table test, where I think they strap you to a table type thing and move you up and down, and it's to see what your heart does when you're in certain positions, because one of the things about POTS is when you go from if you're lying down and then you stand up, your heart rate just jumps way high and the blood can't flow through your body properly. So she is having that test next week, and then at the end of the month she's having a autonomic reflex test. So this will show, and then she'll see this specialist. This will show conclusively whether she has POTS or not. She's been unofficially diagnosed. The cardiologist that she saw before, I don't know what he was thinking, but he didn't give her any answers. Our GP believes 100% that she's got POTS because she has all the symptoms. And this will give us answers, or conclusive answers, and we'll take it from there. I'm not sure there's a whole lot they can do for it, but it would be nice just to know what's going on for sure. So Sarah, as I said, is enjoying having her own space. She's doing well at work. Her best friend just left for Boston for 18 months, so she's missing her. But other than that, she's doing really well. My brother, youngest brother, I have 2 brothers in Scotland, and my youngest brother, who was supposed to come over 2 years ago, and because of COVID, things were cancelled, and it was cancelled 2 more times. He finally has his flights booked, and he's coming January the 10th for 3 weeks. I haven't seen him for 13 years, and so we are so excited. He's been here a couple of times before, but only for a couple of days at a time. And he's brought, wives with him. He's been married twice, married and divorced twice. So this time will be the first time since I left Scotland that we will actually have a block of time, just him and I together. So I'm very, very excited about that. I wish my other brother could come at the same time so the three of us could be together, but maybe down the road that'll happen. So that's all my news. We've got the holidays coming up. It'll probably just be quiet. I don't think we're expecting any guests. And yeah, that's everything. So for all of you American watchers or viewers, happy Thanksgiving. And I hope to be back before Christmas. I certainly hope it wouldn't be as long as last time. And I hope that you have a wonderful holiday season and that everybody's keeping well. It seems like COVID is hitting everybody right now. We've had, like us, we've had friends that haven't had it at all that are now all getting sick one after the other, and we've also got friends that have had it 3 or 4 times and they keep getting it, and you know, it doesn't seem to matter whether you're vaccinated or not. It just seems to be hitting everybody. So even a bunch of Flosstubers that I've been watching lately have been dealing with it. So I hope that you're well. Please take care, and until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.